We've all been there, wondering why you can't seem to get a win or get a kill on the day when you seemingly lose a dozen matches in a row, and you're left wondering, what can you just do better to improve yourself when it seems like there's literally nothing you can do but lose. Sometimes improvement can be held back or halted by the simplest of things, and today we're going to go over 6 reasons why you are not improving and how you can push back the limitations of your current skill. Hold up! If you're not using the sponsor of today's video, you're doing it wrong. Outplayed is the #1 way for you to create and record your highlights, and the best part, you don't have to do anything other than just download the program. It automatically works in the background, and it does work for over 300 games. You also have the customization to select the individual moments you want to record, from your kills, assists, wins, and your deaths if that's your thing. And there is even built-in editing software to make things super easy. Once you're all done, sharing to your favorite socials is a breeze. Wait no longer, click the link in the description or pinned comment for more. Thanks to both you and Outplayed for the support. Arguably the biggest one on this list is going to be the first one we talk about, and it's when players play and they're not really playing to learn and improve. If you're not playing with the intentions of getting better, then you're not going to get better. Talking critically about your losses and even your wins is the best way to get better and learn how to improve your game. You always want to be thinking about what you could have done differently, how you could have approached each engagement a little bit better, or what you just could have done to make that scenario turn out in your favor. And even if you did win, talking about what you still could have done better means you could be pushing your skills even further rather than just queuing up for another game. And when I say talk it over, of course I mean talk it over with your squad, but if you are playing solo, you should be still talking it over in your mind about what you could have done. It's okay to play casually and just to have a good time, but if you're really looking to push yourself further, you gotta play with the intention to actually learn and actually get better by psychoanalyzing yourself and analyzing your gameplay. Opportunities do not always come your way in life, and much is the same in Apex Legends, and failing to capitalize is another thing that many players are not doing enough, and it is holding back their skill level. Opportunities in Apex Legends are just straight up rare. Oftentimes you can go whole matches where really little opportunity comes your way to actually make a play, and when it does come your way, you need to be capitalizing on it. Timing of everything is going to be of the utmost importance, so you got to be really critical on yourself and your squad, and you understand that when you do have something that looks like it's an opportunity, it probably is, and you really just need to be taking advantage of it. And this does mean that you should be trying new things, especially if it looks like you do have something that is interesting or something that is going to make you put yourself in sort of a learning environment where you are going to be able to try something new, and it might come out in your way. And if it does come out in your way, this means you're probably improving yourself at Apex Legends. If you get big damage in there, if you get a knock, if you get a third party, or some great positioning, these are just a few things when you can realize that they are opportunities coming your way, and you want to be capitalizing on all of these. You want to capitalize on the moment. Don't just sit back and let everything else happen around you, and you eventually put yourself in a bad position where you really have no opportunities left. Next is something that I think is a little bit misunderstood, and I don't see too many people talking about, but it is going to be playing with players who are better than you. If you play with players who are better than you, the competition is going to be raised up a little bit, and you're going to be able to see what more experienced players are doing, and thus you're going to be able to incorporate those tips and those tactics into your playstyle. Obviously, you are going to get slaughtered from time to time, and it's going to be a harsh learning experience, but if you can grind through the mental aspects of this, playing with someone that is better than you is by far one of the best ways you can improve your game. It's going to take some time, and this is definitely not an instant skill building thing, but if you can, try to find a consistent team and find someone who is better than you so you can learn off of them. And the best possible thing is that they are guiding you through the match. They're telling you what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and just by you getting told what to do, and if you're doing it, you will be learning how to play the game at a higher skill level than the competition. Don't get overly tilted when you are doing this because you are losing to better players. Remember, everyone at some point is worse than someone else. It's just how it is, and I mean, no one at all is going to be perfect at all times. I want to do a quick shout out to my monthly members who are going above and beyond to support myself and the content we do produce around here. Thanks for the support, and just know it doesn't go unnoticed. Our fourth thing is something that pretty much I see everyone falling into a trap from time to time, and it is okay to fall into, but every decision matters. Sounds simple, sounds obvious, but you might not quite think it is as specific as I'm about to make it. Rotate left, right, push, attack, retreat, shooting, or poking someone from too far. Every single decision you do, and especially all those that I just mentioned, is going to greatly affect how your match plays out. Every action, as small as it seems, has a consequence to everything. If I had to call this something, it's playing with no intent. It's playing like you are a bot. Some are going to refer to this as autopilot, where you are just doing emotions and you're not really playing with any sort of meaning. You're kind of just queuing into matches and you're just letting the game take you to wherever the game thinks you should be going. You want to be present, you want to be attentive and aware of what you're doing. If you're playing without really having any sort of like control over what you're doing, then what's really the point of playing? Be sure that every decision you make actually matters and you're actually paying attention to what you're doing and you're not a bot. An additional thing I do see players falling into the trap of is just starting off an engagement a little bit too early. If you open a fight too early to the point where you're not at the optimal distance or really at a distance where you can do anything meaningful, you're definitely outgunning yourself and you're hurting yourself a little bit more than you might even realize. If you're starting off an engagement before an enemy even realizes you're there and you're just wasting that opportunity, you are not going to be doing yourself any favors. Getting the drop on someone to start an engagement off by making it a 2-on-3 or a 1-on-3 clutch up or a 1-on-2, it's a pretty huge deal, as you are greatly increasing your chances at clutching up that fight. The element of surprise should not be understated, and it's honestly why you see players getting ratted on, because surprising players is a pretty huge way and a foolproof way to win some fights. Second to starting off the engagement too early, it could just be starting off your actual gunfight a little bit too early to the point where you're just missing some rounds where you're not going to one-mag someone without reloading anymore. Try your best to not panic, show a little patience, don't engage on someone if you know they're too far away, and don't shoot at someone if you know you're not on your target quite yet, because wasting rounds is definitely not going to do anything for you. If there is one way to never improve at Apex Legends though, it is going to be overlooting. This is the biggest detractor of someone's ability to improve. If you are just looting, picking up items on the ground, going into a fight, and then dying right away because you did spend all your time looting, you're never going to improve to the point where you're actually going to get better. And if anything, if you're landing really far away and you are spending so much time looting, I think you actually might be regressing in your skill because you're not keeping up with the other players who are actually taking fights and improving their abilities. Looting is of course a skill that you do want to improve, but you really do not need to do it too much. The less time you spend looting and the more time you actually spend fighting means you're going to be improving your gun skill, your movement, and your overall positional awareness so you are actually winning fights. It's important to have a healthy medium between not having crazy hot drops, but also not dropping too far away. Ideally, you want to be landing next to players or next to hot areas and then rotating in to get some fights. If you did miss it, check out my latest tier list where I did rank the most important skills that you need to be developing right now in Apex Legends. Like and sub for more, and I'll see you in the next one.